Belle from Belle's Book Reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing Maggot Moon. Before we start though, I have two things, one of which is related, one of which I just felt like sharing. First off, thank you guys for 600 subs. I'm genuinely grateful for it, and just thank you for taking the time to watch my videos. Second, on Monday, I think, I got a mechanical keyboard. It makes a very loud clicking sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but I think that the purpose of this was to help me or to motivate me to type with all four fingers, but it's not working. Point is though, I got a very nice mechanical keyboard, which for some reason no one uses, and it's very loud, but at the same time, I love the clicks it makes. It's also very heavy though. That's a con. Anyways though, so as I said before, today we're going to be reviewing Maggot Moon by Sallie Gardner. I would recommend this book for ages 13 and up. I don't know if that's a bit extreme, but it's just a 1 year difference than what most of the people say. But I would say that this would be for ages 13 and up because there's a lot of unexpected swearing, and there is a scene near the end of the book where Standish, who's the main character, and another character named Hector, they're both boys, and they kiss. I don't know whether people younger than 13, maybe I'm just being paranoid at the moment, but I don't know if people younger than 13 should be exposed to things like this, because it's not really going into detail about it. I don't know. Point is though, two characters kiss and they're both boys. And third, there's a lot of death. Fourth, I think that this is the most severe part of it. There is an unbelievable amount of violence. This book is so violent. I understand that's a dystopian community, but the violence in it, the violence is so it just has so much detail in it, and I don't know why there's a need for there to be that much detail, because we get it, there's a lot of blood. One kid got beat to death, but no one needs a full description of this, but they give it to you anyway. So if you like that stuff for some reason, this has that. This book is about a dyslexic kid named Standish who also has heterochromia, which is not really a disease, but just this birth defect kind of, where when your eyes are forming, something happens to you, or just something from your parents' genes that gives you different colored eyes. As you can see in the cover, Standish has blue and brown eyes, and in this community that's considered imperfect, because they just want the world to be pure. Not really. They just say pure. Anyway, so Hector came along, who is Standish's best friend. Hector, he's a really awesome kid. He stands up for Standish. He stands up against this really, really rude, mean, abusive teacher. The teachers are scared of him. The bullies are scared of him. Hector's just a great kid overall. He's nice to everyone. He also scares and intimidates the bad people. Point is though, so Hector comes along out of nowhere, and then one day, he disappears. And then looks like this book, it's kind of vague in my opinion. It just kind of like moves along really quickly, but at the same time, it moves along a bit too quickly at some points. So what I'm getting is like Hector ran away, and they also found this guy named who they called the Moon Man. And he acts for like a fraud moon landing because the motherland, which is like where they call like their capital, the motherland is like faking this moon landing to show that like humans are like amazing, but like it's staged. They like make a fake moon, fake astronauts, just like wires the way they do it in movies. I really liked a few things in the book. I really liked the amount of detail it had. I don't mean the violence part, obviously, because no one needs to know that someone's eye is falling out of their socket. No one needs to know that, but I like the detail and everything else. Like I said before, obviously I didn't like the detail in the violence, obviously, but I like the detail and everything else. And I also like that it actually gets on with the story, because some books, I'm not saying that they're bad books because of this, because like I've read a few books that take a really long time to like get across the story. They're pretty long, they have like really vague language, and they like, I think that it could be a great book, just like they're really slow. But nonetheless, a lot of these books actually are some of my favorite books. It also has a really immersive plot, and instead of saying the actual F word, Standish, he says like frick fracking, but then afterwards, like he just like comes out of nowhere and he says frick fracking. I don't know if the H word is really considered a bad word, but I'm not gonna say it. Anyways, though, he does say frick fracking H word a lot, but it's better than saying F wording H word. A few things that I disliked was, first off, how long it took for Hector and Standish to start talking together again, because like they get there and I expect Hector to just like be excited to see Standish, really, but like I don't know, I just expected that like since they're like really close friends, I kind of expected like seeing Standish to give like Hector this new burst of energy like they do in all the books. How like you see someone you really love, you really like, you're really close with, and like suddenly you're like you're alive, you're suddenly like up and running. And I guess it was just disappointing for me that Standish comes in and Hector, he's just there defeated. His poor hand, his pinky finger has been chopped off. He's just there, laying there, dying, shivering, with like this terrible fever. And Standish comes in and Hector's just like, no, you're not here. You're not here. And like when he does accept the fact that Standish is there with him, he's just like, why are you here? He makes it sound like he doesn't want Standish to be there. Like, I understand, yes, you don't really want Standish to be here, but at the same time, he's here, so like why don't you at least like tell him thank you for coming here? Like, I understand like you don't want him to be here. I understand that he wants Standish to be safe. But it just took so long because like Standish walks in and Hector, he's just like, you're not here. The first thing he says, he's just like, no, you're not here. You're not here. And like when he finally convinces himself that Standish is here, Hector finally believes it. Then he's just like, Standish, why are you here? Like, can you at least tell him what happened? Like, naturally, if you just disappear out of nowhere, this kid's gonna be curious, like, naturally. I also absolutely hated how rude Mr. Gunnell was. I'm really glad that the world doesn't really allow those teachers currently, because Mr. Gunnell was so abusive. He literally beat a kid to death. And he got punished, but he didn't really like stand a case or anything, and he didn't have to say anything to like the kid's parents. I also really hated the fact that Miss Cannoli was fired, because Miss Cannoli, she seems like a genuinely nice teacher. She takes the time to teach kids stuff. She's nice to them, and she actually points out all the bullies. Like, I understand that this is one of those communities where they're just like, no, you can't know this, you're not going to know this, we're just going to hide this stuff from you. I understand that this is one of those communities. But at the same time, I think that Miss Cannoli should not have been fired. Okay, you know what? Let me rephrase that. I don't think that Miss Cannoli should have been killed. Because apparently fired means disappearance, unexplained disappearance, getting killed. I also really hated the unexplained disappearances because, I mean, like, if someone just disappears, they just accept it. They just move on with their life. Because, like, I think they know in, like, the back of their mind, okay, this person's dead. But they were just like, okay, they're dead. We're not going to say anything. We're not even going to talk about this. Like, we're just going to accept this. We're kids. Like, there are some kids and there's, like, we're kids. One of our teachers died. We don't care. We're just going to accept it. Like, are you not curious what they did? Are you not curious why? And number 5. Obviously, I really disliked Hans Fielder. I know, like, in all of my book reviews, I always, like, hate on the bullies and the antagonists, but I don't think I did that in the Pretend She's Here, but I think in Pretend She's Here, I said that the antagonist was doing this because of grief. I'm not saying that that was a good excuse, but still, I felt bad for her. Point is, though, to be clear, I don't always hate on the bad guys. Just on the books that I'm reviewing, I hate on them. Usually, though, I can't sympathize with bad guys. There are a lot of bad guys that, believe it or not, I think that they're just broken. I don't know if this is the right time to say this. But speaking of which, this is completely unrelated to the book, but Captain Hook and Peter Pan. What if he's not actually the bad guy, because he's regarded as the bad guy because everyone loves Peter Pan. But what if he was actually trying to keep Peter Pan from kidnapping more lost boys and devastating their families, because their families haven't been searching for them, they haven't found them, and Peter Pan just takes them. So technically he's kidnapping them. So what if Captain Hook, since he's never really like targeting the lost boys, what if he's just trying to get rid of Peter Pan so that all these boys can be like free again? They don't have to live in like this endless loop where you never grow old. Anyways, I just wanted to share that theory. Number 6, though, that I disliked, everyone just goes on with what happens to everyone. Like, no one is just like, okay, what happened to so-and-so? Why are they gone? No one even talks about it. Like, I understand that you're gonna get killed, but moreover this, like, I understand you're gonna get killed, but like, what if they just started like an uprising? Like, they're all living in like terrible conditions. Like, why not just start an uprising? Number 7. No one crosses the wall. I understand there are queen flies who are forever obedient. I understand that you're not supposed to, but no one even questions it. Everyone just goes on with their daily life like it's not there. It's like, it's there. It's a big wall. Like, you know when like you want something but you're not allowed to have it? Like, when you want something, sometimes, I don't know if this is just me because I'm lazy, but sometimes when I want something, I just like sit there and then decide against it. But like, the thing is, when you want something but you can't have it, I think that this applies to a lot of people, because I talk to a lot of my friends and a lot of my family members and people I know, and they said that this happens to them too. But when you can't have something, that one thing seems so much more appealing. Like candy, we all love candy, I think. Unless somebody out there doesn't like candy. I respect you, but I think the majority of people like candy, no matter what candy it is. Because, like, in the back of our minds, I think, like, this happens to me, but I don't know about anyone else. But you have candy, you love it, but then, like, when you're not allowed to have it, suddenly you feel this urge that like, you're going to die without it. So I think that happens with curiosity, too. Because, like, when someone tells you no to something, then you just want it more and more. So, like, if you don't know something, then you just want to know what it is more and more. But no one even questions this. No one crosses the wall. Number 8. Almost everyone is unbelievably obedient. Like, I understand that there are green flies who kill you. But what if, like, I understand it's not that easy to start an uprising. Don't get me wrong, I do understand that. But what if they just started an uprising? What if, like, bit by bit, like, they just uprised against the motherland? Also, I really don't like how they offer, or not really offer, but give really, I think, unnecessary and unbelievably harsh punishments. Like, the thing is, though, so Mr. Gunner, in the book, he beats a kid to death. And the guy there, he doesn't give him a court trial. He doesn't make Mr. Gunner apologize to anyone. He doesn't make Mr. Gunner call the parents, at least not as we know of. He just shoots him in the head. And, like, I understand that Hector's dad refused to work for them because he thought that this was wrong, but I think it was actually his mom, though. One of Hector's parents, they refused to do their job because they thought it was wrong. And they got their tongues cut off. And when Hector's dad refuses to work, they cut off Hector's pinky. And they're just like, okay, if you don't work, we're going to cut off all of your son's fingers. We're going to, like, chop him to death. But, like, Hector didn't do anything. He did not do anything. I want to be clear on that. He is innocent. And his dad is just working because he knows that his son is going to, like, die of blood loss. And he's going to die because his son's going to, get sick one way or another. The thing that frustrates me most about this part, though, was that in the end of the book, Hector dies. Hector dies after everything that Hector's dad has done. And, like, in the end of the book, I think the end of the book was a bit too vague because at first I was so confused because, like, Hector goes up there, he, like, puts that entire thing out. He's just like, this is a fraud. And then, like, obviously there are, like, machine guns are just shooting him. And I understand. Like, sometimes when you get cut, it just takes, like, a minute for the pain to register. But if you have, like, 100 bullet holes through your body, can you really be carried by someone and, like, suddenly realize that all this blood is coming from you? Like, do you not feel that pain? Like, if someone has shot you with a gun, like, of course, I wouldn't know how it feels, but if someone shoots you with a gun, would you not feel the pain? Because if you wouldn't feel the pain, then that would be a very nice way to die, as long as you don't feel pain. Point is, though, do you not feel the pain of 100 bullets just, like, going right through you? How can it take him that long to realize all that blood pouring out is yours? Second, I think they were a bit reckless because I'm sure that there were other people on the set and they just immediately started firing those machine guns. Unlike machine guns, I don't know how big they were. I don't really know how big machine guns are. I haven't really seen a gun before. But I'm guessing that they're big, and like I'm guessing they have like a pretty wide range, right? Because like they go like so supposedly like they're probably gonna have like a lot, right? And like if there are a lot of machine guns suddenly firing at you, then no, they're not all gonna meet their target. It's like I'm guessing, would there have been like other innocent lives lost during this incident? And at the end, I didn't realize until I reread it a few times over and over again that Standish was dead and that Hector was dead. Because like they say that like Hector's ghost came to stand by him. And I was just like, okay. Number one, Standish feels motivated by Hector's existence. Number two, Hector's dead. Because like Hector's face is gray. But I did not understand for some reason. For a few times, I honestly thought that like the machine gun just missed him. I don't know what went through my head. But when they didn't make it clear that he was dead, like Hector, he was just there like, oh, here, I'm here. And I was just like, okay, they're not dead. And suddenly I realized, wait a minute, why is there a Cadillac there? All their dreams are coming true, like how? And I realized that they were dead. Anyways, I think that this was a very sad ending to the book. Anyways, though, that's all I have to say. It was a really sad ending. But one way or another, I honestly enjoyed the book. And I really enjoyed like how they put pictures in it. I don't know if they do that with all the copies, but in my copy, they had like pictures of it. Like I flipped through it and it kind of was like one of those flip books. Anyways, so I enjoyed that. And I would give this book a 4 out of 5 stars. Give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Anyways, thanks for watching and remember to like and subscribe. Bye!